saying hello today on a gorgeous July the 20th, 2013 from beautiful Perth, Ontario. And I'm here with Susan Code, who's actually a local historian and architectural history expert. Nice to meet you, Susan.
Nice to meet you.
We've just gone on a half-hour tour and we've got a little bit of wind, so I'm just going to move around, so we're moving out of the wind.
Okay.
You've just taken us on a lovely architectural walking tour of downtown Perth. And Perth is a really special town because it was founded in a unique way. There's not too many towns like that. So please tell us, what's the background?
Well, Perth is a military settlement, one of three founded in what is now Eastern Ontario following the War of 1812. The War of 1812 was a near-run thing between what is now Canada and the United States and Britain, as a precaution against future attack from the United States, which they are convinced would happen, decided to pay off the soldiers where they stood, which is here in Upper Canada, and she paid them off with land, and this provided the nucleus for these military settlements. So it was a way of populating the countryside, expanding the population, and also providing a trained fighting force that could be mustered for when the Americans attacked again, which of course we know that never happened. Instead, they came, they settled, they built beautiful homes. Perth was very blessed to have many of these, and they started industries, and they contributed greatly to the development of the country as a whole.
Perfect. What are some of the key architectural landmarks of Perth?
Well, Perth is known primarily as a Georgian town, and this is because we have many buildings in this Georgian style, which is symmetrical, center hallway, which is indicative of the early part of the 19th century. Very stately, if you will, conservative. So the Matheson House Museum, the Town Hall, both of which are National Historic Sites for their architecture, considered excellent examples of this stately style. We managed to have an awful lot of these nice buildings built early because of the military. 1 in 6 of the original settlers was an officer, and an officer had a half-pay pension. So these people had money right from the get-go. So they were able to afford to build these nice buildings. Skilled tradesmen were able to afford to actually work their craft, and we've been blessed with their efforts.
Exactly. And downtown Perth is also very interesting because it's built on 2 islands?
Yes.
Okay.
Another sign of the military. We have lots of them if you know what to look for. We don't have the usual ones like a fort or a garrison, but we do have these signs. The middle of Perth is an island, or a couple of islands actually, and this has always been the middle of Perth. And you usually think of islands as being difficult to access because you have to build a bridge. Well, if there's one thing the Army knows how to do, it's build bridges, and that's what they did. They got here, they cut down a great big tree, and they set up camp in an island in the middle of the Tay River.
Exactly. Now there's another building that's one of my real favorites, and you're personally connected to it.
Yes.
And that's Code's Mill, which is a lovely mill just down by the Tay River. Please tell me about that mill and the mansion across the street. Code's
Mill was founded by my grandfather's uncle. I'm not going to figure out the number of greats there. T.A. Code in 1874. Through a personal connection, he was able to make business contacts with purchasers for the Canadian Pacific Railway, which was under construction in the early 1870s. And what he was selling was socks. He started off with a small milling company on the banks of the Tay River, which over time grew and grew and grew, and it's actually quite a substantial building to this day. And the Code's Mill was in operation up until the 1890s. Now, after a number of years, T.A. Code managed to make enough money actually to build a beautiful home directly across the street from his factory. This is a large Edwardian mansion made of stone. It's quite elegant. It is still a private home to this day, although no Codes live there anymore. And an interesting thing about Kinnevie and Code's Mill, they had this unique relationship. It is a large house, obviously expensive to maintain, but T.A. was a very crafty man, and what he did is he built a tunnel underneath the road, linking his house with the factory, and they diverted the steam from the factory to heat his home. Amazing. Yes. Early environmentally sustainable heating. Isn't that amazing? Yes, I'm sure the current owners wish they could do that now. Exactly. Now, quick question for you. There's a lot of architectural history lovers out there. Is there a website where people can go and get a bit more information about Perth and its architectural heritage? probably the best website to start with is the website for the Perth Historical Society.
Okay.
It is a good starting point. They have lots of links and lots of articles, but that is probably the best place to start.
Okay, excellent. Thank you so much. I really enjoyed the tour. Thank you for educating us a little bit about the history of downtown Perth.
My pleasure.
Thank you.